UFC has some of the biggest names in MMA fighting for them. From Conor McGregor to Khabib to Poirier, they've all fought under the company's banner. So there's no doubt it's the best promotion in the world. But there are different divisions in UFC. What about them? Which division is the most exciting? This is the big question that we'll try to answer today. In this video, we'll rank only the men's divisions in the UFC. Let's dive in. First up at number 8, Flyweight. Without a shadow of a doubt, Flyweight has to be the weakest division in the UFC. There's just no competition there, and not enough talent on board to keep the division exciting for fans. Demetrius Johnson was, hands down, the best Flyweight fighter, and he ruled this division for quite some time. But ever since he left for one championship, there's been a big dent in the Flyweight division's viewership. The current top two in the Flyweights are Brandon Moreno and Davison Figueiredo. Some may argue that Kai Kara France and Askar Askarov are also good fighters, but that's about it. There aren't many quality fighters in the division other than these four. One of the reasons why Flyweight doesn't have enough viewership is that there aren't enough fights that can excite the fans. You see, fans tune in to watch some knockouts, but the Flyweight division just isn't about that. Most of the time, their fights go over a decision, which is boring to watch. If things keep going like this, Flyweight will always overshadow all the other divisions in the UFC. And that's just the truth, plain and simple. And unless some big names hop on board soon, the division will keep sinking. Up next at number 7, Heavyweight. The Heavyweight division is one of the most historic divisions in the UFC. Historically, it has always had the best of the best fighting for it. But unfortunately, the talent coming into the division hasn't been consistent lately. Sure, it has some excellent fighters who go toe-to-toe with each other, and we also get to witness a good knockout sometimes. But what this division lacks is consistency. This is because heavyweight fights need more pace to get the fans excited. They're slow, and by the time the fighters pick up some pace, the clock has already run out. We know it's hard to move around and keep the fight at a high pace with that build, but come on, at least give us something to watch, give us enough reasons to watch your fights, and we will. Also, apart from a few fighters, most heavyweights are just out of shape and don't look like professional fighters. Yes, they compete in the UFC because of their talent, but you must be eye-catching to catch the viewer's attention. Another thing that sometimes makes the heavyweight division unwatchable is that many fighters aren't as skilled in MMA as you'd expect a pro fighter to be. This is because they rely on their power, which is good in moderation, but can get old and boring quickly. Now for number 6, Light Heavyweight. The Light Heavyweight division was the UFC's highlight a decade ago. We got to see some exciting fights between insanely talented fighters, but unfortunately, that stopped being the case sometime around 2010. To put it simply, the division has lost its charm. One of the biggest reasons for the fall of the light heavyweight was that the older fighters just stuck around for too long, making it difficult for the young blood to come in. But now that the veterans are starting to leave, the division could make a comeback, with a new generation of young fighters leading the charge. But you see, it's going to take quite some time to bring the division back to the level it once was. As of the time of making this video, the division isn't exactly in what we call ideal conditions. It's simply not as exciting as it has the potential to be. The current champion, Yuri Prohaska, recently vacated his title after suffering a bad shoulder injury, which has slowed down the division's momentum. But all of us are eager to see the light heavyweight division return to where it once was. Next up at number 5, Middleweight. Now this is where things start getting exciting. The middleweight division is one of the most entertaining divisions in the promotion. We've witnessed some massively talented fighters fight under its banner. Just take Anderson Silva as an example. He made the middleweight division all about himself and put a lot of eyes on it in the process. Some even say Silva's reign of dominance was the best thing to happen to the division. He was undoubtedly one of the most talented middleweight fighters. Some even say he's the best overall. And you know, that's not very far stretched. Silva held the middleweight championship for 2,450 37 days and set the record for the longest reigning champion in the history of UFC. This one reign did wonders for the divisions and helped it become popular. Right now, one of the best fighters in the UFC, Israel Adesanya, is at the division's top. Apart from him, fighters such as Robert Whittaker and Marvin Vettori have also become a huge part of the division's appeal after putting on one stellar performance after the other. Overall, the middleweight division is doing well for itself. So if you've just started watching UFC and want to watch some good fights, we recommend you watch the middleweight division. You won't regret it. Coming in at number 4, featherweight. The featherweight division is so good because it has 3 of the best fighters in the history of UFC. Alexander Volkanovski, Max Holloway, and Brian Ortega are the undisputed kings of the featherweight division. All 3 have been the backbone of this division and have provided the fans with several exciting fights. The current champ, Alexander Volkanovski, is a destroyer and a nightmare for any opponent. We do not doubt that all 3 will continue this way and provide the fans with one great fight after another. There are other exciting fighters in the featherweight as well. Yair Rodriguez, Josh Emmett, and Giga Chikadze are some names that you shouldn't sleep on. They have the skill and the ability to go to the top of this division. You'll see power and skill in the featherweight division, which makes it one of the best divisions in the UFC. Placed number 3, welterweight. The welterweight division has Kamaru Usman. What else do you want? This is one of the most competitive divisions in the promotion, with many top-ranked fighters trying to get their hands on its championship. Take Kamaru Usman, for example. He was recently at the top of the UFC pound-for-pound rankings. He's nicknamed the Nigerian Nightmare, and we think it's pretty fitting. He's been nothing short of a nightmare for his opponents and has proven that he can dominate this division. This division's also the home of some other entertaining fighters, such as Khamzat Chimaev, Jorge Masvidal, and Colby Covington. Who can forget when Masvidal knocked out Ben Askren with a flying knee, and he was gone in just 5 seconds? That was one of the most insane MMA moments we've ever seen, and it's the fastest knockout in UFC history as well. Let's talk about number 2, bantamweight. You might be surprised to see the bantamweight division in the top 2, but it's true. Recently, this division has emerged quickly and has become the home of many talented fighters. The bantamweight fighters have the perfect skills and power to compete with each other. Fighters like Aljamain Sterling and Petr Yan are 2 of the best in the division, and their rivalry is also good to watch. Sterling won their last fight via decision and is also the current bantamweight champion. Fighters like Jose Aldo, TJ Dillashaw, Dominic Cruz, and Frank Edgar are also a part of this division and have proven their greatness over the years. Merab Dvalishvili, Corey Sandhagen, and Sean O'Malley are the ones to watch in this division. Finally, number 1, lightweight. Out of all the divisions in the UFC, the lightweight's the best. It's also the best division in the whole of MMA. It has the best fighters, the most entertaining fights, and rivalries. Khabib Nurmagomedov was one of the biggest names in the division, and he dominated this division just for fun. Some other huge names like Conor McGregor, Islam Makhachev, and Dustin Poirier are also a part of this division. It has some of the most exciting rivalries, like the one between Poirier and McGregor and Khabib and McGregor. That's a wrap for this video. Which men's division do you think is the best in UFC? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.